this week on Detroit Lions Free Agency Wars. We start this episode off with some breaking news. As it was reported earlier today, Detroit Lions have made a free agent signing following the draft, as the Lions have signed defensive tackle Darius Kilgo on a one-year contract. So once again, Detroit remains the land of one-year contracts. For Darius Kilgo, he's been involved in a lot of practice squads and been second or third string on a lot of teams. He's played for the Broncos, Patriots, and the Titans. And when he did play in New England, he did play in Matt Patricia's defensive scheme. So yeah, another New England connection. So he knows the system. If he makes the roster, he could be someone to look out for. So we got another defensive tackle in our D-line rotation, which is looking pretty solid following the draft. Of course, though, continuing back on, in this week's episode, we're going to go over some negativity in the media. Some juice, of course, that juicy drama. We're also going to go over some interesting draft news. And of course, real before I continue on, I want to wish Detroit Lions legend Roger Brown a happy 82nd birthday. Happy birthday to him. And then we're going to go over the undrafted free agents and tryout contracts. For those, I'm going to highlight 5 players. And we're going to go over all 5, give my thoughts on them and how, because those 5 will be the most likely to make the team. But yeah, enough talk out of this. Let's go ahead and let's jump right into the drama. So, of course, it was followed after the draft. Vegas and Bleacher Report did their wins projection list following the draft. And the Lions' projected win total went down from the draft. It went from a 7.5 to 6.5 wins projected this season. So they're projecting 6-10, 7-9 now following the draft. Like, fucking hell, really? Everyone's saying we did terrible in the draft. I didn't think we did too bad. We did pretty solid. We addressed all the needs. You know, we got some solid players to fit the scheme, hopefully. You know? It's just, the media always taking a shit on Detroit. This is surprisingly not news to us. In fact, they went one further. ESPN also did their projected wins total. And they projected the Lions at 4 wins. You gotta be fucking kidding me. ESPN, whatever shit you're fucking smoking, I want double. So ESPN is projecting the Lions after the draft to go 4-12. Hell no. 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 Hell no. Absolutely not. This team is a hell of a lot better than that. This team, there's no chance in hell this team goes 4-12. No way. But NFL, a lot of NFL Network experts are saying the Lions could also potentially be a sleeper team. So now we got media trying to be negative and media trying to be positive. I don't know where you take on this. And USA Today brought out their power rankings after all 32 NFL teams after the draft. But we'll get to that in a second because there was one person that took advantage of all this negativity. His name, Mike Valenti of 97 won the ticket, the famous Detroit radio station. We all know about Mike Valenti. He's been called out a couple of times by Lions fans. He was called out by Luke G, Field Review, shout out to him. He was also called out by Man Beast Moore, shout out to him also. And he was also called out by Nomis Johnson, shout out to him also. And those are the Lions fans we least know of. How many more have called Valenti out in a video? Like, honestly, he's just been negative. Like, after the draft, he was, like, criticizing every pick we had, being completely negative. It was just complaining and excuses. And yes, I was listening to it the whole time on my drive home from work. It was just complaining and moaning and bitching and bitching and bitching and excuses, and more excuses to where it's like, where I'm like, oh my fucking God, shut the fuck up. God damn. Like, we can all agree, my draft recap was a hell of a lot better than Mike Valenti's. I at least was fair in that. Like, I understand Mike Valente has an image, and he has a family to provide for, but fuck me. It gets to a point where, you know what, this fucking bullshit of Valente being negative all the goddamn time, it just gets too old too fucking fast. It's like, god damn it. But yeah, and it's not just him, you know, he also has his whole crew on his whole entire show, it's all his yes men that are part of the problem too. It's like, this draft class wasn't even that bad. Like, we got some pretty solid players. Like, I'm not sure what the fuck they're all bitching about. Like, fuck me. You know, I do think, though, Valente's gotta go. This negativity has gotten to a point to where it's like, you know what? I can't fucking take it anymore. Like, goddamn, it's getting too fucking annoying. That's what I'm trying to say here. Like, man. Like, hell, Valente was saying last year, Valente, whatever it's pronounced, he was saying that we should have fired Patricia last year, after one season. No, you dumb shit. There's one thing you don't do. You never fire a rookie head coach after one season. Firing a rookie head coach after one season is how your franchise becomes a complete and utter shit show. Just ask the Arizona Cardinals. Yeah, they definitely fucked the hiring process up on Steve Wilkes. But fuck me. And he's saying that the Lions don't make the playoffs this year, both Quinn and Patricia should be fired. No, you dumbass. No, this needs time to build. Detroit is sort of in a small rebuild right now, but this has promise. I think this team is a hell of a lot better than 6-10. Like, could be at least a playoff team, a wild card team. Or in contention for a wild card, at least. Like, honestly, I would be okay if Valente left. Like, I think it's time he has to go. Like, this just shit is getting too fucking old. Like, come on. But yeah, I think I addressed that drama real quick. But yeah, let's now move ahead and get to some positivity. So, of course, in some draft news, Bob Quinn has announced that the Lions are making a bid to host the 2021 NFL Draft because the 2020 draft will be held in Vegas. 2021 is now up for grabs. Detroit has, of course, sent a bid in. The main highlights of their draft bid is Ford Field, Fox Theater, and the Detroit Riverfront. 3 pretty good places. I mean, you could throw Comerica Park in there and Little Caesars Arena if you want. I'm not sure, is Joe Louis Arena demolished yet, or is it still standing? Someone's got to double check with me on that one. But yeah, you know, I think Detroit would be a good place to host the draft. Like, it'd be good for the city, that's for sure. You know, if the draft was in Detroit, I'd definitely go to it. I'd definitely vlog the entire experience there. Like, I heard down in, like, Nashville, like, it was, like, free parking. It was, like, a free event. The only thing you're paying money for is, like, food, souvenirs, etc., you know, the essentials and hotel. And, hell, if you looked at Nashville, I believe they announced that on the first day of the draft alone, over 200,000 people were at the draft in Nashville. Over 200,000. An NFL record. That was actually pretty impressive. Down that Nashville Strip, you know, the whole sea of people, you know, fans from all 32 NFL teams repping their team colors, repping their city, repping their pride. Love it. But yeah, you know, if Detroit gets it in, I'd be okay with it. You know, Cleveland's also thrown a bid in too, along with Seattle and Minnesota and Green Bay. I think Cincinnati's thrown one in too. Like, a lot of cities are throwing a name in for 2021. I think I would like to see the draft come to Detroit. Just bring the draft to Detroit, please. Like, I think it's time. I think it's time for the draft to come back to Detroit. But yeah, that's just my thoughts on where the draft should come to. You know, and getting back to the negativity point, I know what you're going to say about that. You'd be like, but C-RadTV, you're almost about as negative as Mike Valente is, you hypocrite. Here's the difference between me and Valente, folks. Valente's only negative because it gets him a paycheck. Same deal with the rest of the media outlets. Only reason they're negative about Detroit is because it gets them a big fat paycheck. Easy way to make money. With me, anytime I'm negative, it's because I want the team to fucking succeed. And sometimes you gotta give them a fucking kick in the ass for them to wake the fuck up. Learn the difference, folks. But yeah, I just thought I should just clear that one up there real quick. Also, next thing we're going to address here real quick is that it was just announced that Kerryon Johnson is officially medically cleared, and he said he's now healthy again and ready to go for the season. He said, bring on the season. I'd say bring it on too. Sad news is, we gotta wait 5 more months for NFL Week 1 in September to kick off. Damn. Still 5... Actually, it's now 4 more months since it's now the start of May. Damn. But yeah, Kerryon Johnson's back, so we got our running back officially back healthy again. And of course, the final thing we're going to be talking about in this video are the undrafted free agents the Lions have signed following the draft. I'll go ahead, I'll show both the tryouts list and the names officially signed. As you see there are a lot of names on that list. So yeah, some pretty good, interesting names in there. Some names that I'm shocked that went undrafted. So yeah, there's at least 5 players we're going to go over out of all those names. The 5 players I think have the best shot at making this team and making an impact. So yeah, for the majority of this video now, the next part, we're going to go ahead and we're going to show photos and voiceovers. So enjoy that, and I'll see you all at the end. Alright, so the first player we're going to go over from the tryouts list is quarterback Jalen McClendon out of Baylor. He stands 6'5", weighs 219. Some quick notes about him. He was impressive at the NFL Collegiate Bowl, of course, when undrafted. He has a great combination of size, athleticism, and arm strength, so he has a pretty good arm. However, though, in college, he wasn't really very good in college. Like, all time, his entire career, he had a 58% completion percentage. Like, he did throw that many touchdowns, at least 4 or 5 touchdowns, and had, like, 7 interceptions in, like, 3 seasons. Like, 4 full seasons starting. Like, he recently came to Baylor off a transfer. So, yeah, there's some questions here with him. You know, there is some potential with him, but there's still many question marks. Like, he wasn't impressive in college. Well, his last year of college, he only had like a 60.7 completion percentage, so there are some question marks with him. But, you know, I think he could be maybe a solid backup quarterback, maybe a third-string quarterback. No, depends on if he can thrive in Matt Patricia's system or not. Or actually Darrell Bevell's offense, for that matter. But you get the picture. But yeah, you know, some question marks here. I think he could make it in as a third string, maybe even a backup, you know. This one, we're just, of course, going to have to wait and see come training camp. So next player we're going to go over is now going to the signings list. So from the tryouts list, I'm going to go over 1 player, but on the signings list, we're going to go over the remaining 4. So next player we have on the list is Trey Moore out of Clemson. He stands 6'3", weighs 255, had a 40 time of 4.7. He is your prototype run defense inside linebacker. You know, so he's very good against the run. So with him on here, we could have a pretty good run defense. Strengths, of course, surprisingly light on feet. Flexible for a big man, shows good lateral agility and suddenness to close downhill when he has the lane. And you know, Matt Patricia loves those big, thick linebackers. Plays with a bow and a China shot mentality as a tackler. Bulldozes through would-be blocks on his way to the ball, so he's pretty good at shedding blocks. Has excellent take-on strength and length, as well as proper knee bend and pad level. Good key and diagnostic skill, including coverage. Loves to intimidate would-be receivers. Rushes up on screen, shallow crossing routes in the hopes that the quarterback will hang them out to dry. With a lazy pass, provide him with a clean shot. With all this, though, weaknesses, though, quite fast for a man of his size. He does not possess true sideline-to-sideline speed to consistently beat backs to the edge, potentially limiting his schematic skills. He takes sharp angles to the ball. He's quickly forced to adjust them against nifty ball carriers as he attempts to close. He lacks ideal stop-start quickness, loses ground quickly when forced to throttle down the run-around traffic, catches a lot of blocks because he's so broad, though he does show good balance and momentum to run through the grass. Shockingly enough in all this, I'm surprised Trey Moore went undrafted. Like, he was potentially supposed to be a 3rd-round pick. The fact that we can get him undrafted for a lot cheaper, that's a goddamn steal. that might be one of the biggest deals here. I think he could really do well in Matt Patricia's system. I could see him easily competing for the middle linebacker spot with Jahlani Tavai and Christian Jones. I would pop out of all those three. There is some question marks with Tavai, but at the moment, I'm going to say I would put Trey Moore in as starter. I put Tavai close there too. We're just going to have to wait and see how this pans out come training camp. Who can impress Patricia the most? That is the name of the game. So the next player we're going to go over is Donald Feram out of Stetson. He stands 6'8". Yes, a 6'8" tight end / wide receiver. He can play both positions. He weighs 242 pounds. He had a 40 time around 4.4. And for a guy his size, that's really impressive. So yeah, that's Stetson. For Feram, he's a lengthy pass catcher, has good running ability. However, though, one catch. He's more fitted as receiver than tight end because he's too tall to get low enough to be an effective blocker. So he is better off playing wide receiver than tight end because for tight end, you'll be asked to block. And it's obvious that Donald cannot block for shit. But yeah, Feram, he was a very solid player in college, very productive. Like in college, he was averaging 14 yards per catch in college throughout his entire college career with Stetson. Around 14 to 15 yards. I know the season before his draft year, he was averaging around 15, 16 yards a catch. And his rookie year, he was averaging 12, 13 yards a catch. So he's been pretty productive in college. Usually if he gets the ball, he's a first down machine. I could really see him making the team and being a red zone threat. Because with his 6'8" height and his big arm span, like, if you lift the arms high enough, you're going over 7 feet tall, and that's not even factoring in his vertical jump. Like, the vertical jump will make it close to 8 or 9 feet. Like, if he jumps in the air, it's almost impossible for a safety or a defensive back to cover him. Because with his height, a defensive back is literally going to have to jump and try and swat the ball away to defend. Because the normal average NFL defensive back is around anywhere from 5'11" to, say, 6'3". It might be there might be a few taller in there, but that's around the average height of an NFL defensive back or safety. So yeah, really good target here. If you want to compare here, everyone's saying is he as big as Megatron. He's actually bigger than Kelvin Johnson. Put this in perspective, Kelvin Johnson was 6'5" and weighed 238. And he was a fucking beast. I don't know, if he can be used correctly, maybe, just maybe, he could be our next Megatron. But I think that would be an over-exaggeration right now. Of course, like I said, we're going to have to wait and see how training camp goes. So next player we're going to go over is Ryan Pope, an offensive tackle out of San Diego State. He stands 6'7", weighs 315 pounds. He's towering and tough, has a hard-nosed presence, and has great power and huge upside. Big man, could really help with the offensive line because we've had a lot of offensive line issues last year. And, we got to protect Stafford because Stafford took a beating last year. So, yeah. And one of the big keys with him is that he has been guaranteed $145,000. Guaranteed. On his rookie deal. For an undrafted rookie, that is an NFL record. Believe it or not. So yeah, they're guaranteeing you that much money as an undrafted rookie. You better believe they have confidence in you. So yeah, I think he could be a good offensive lineman. Somebody worth watching, But we're just going to have to wait and see how training camp goes. We're going to have to address the other side of the line in a few years. But yeah. We gotta get offensive linemen because a lot of our names have either gotten injured or are getting old, But yeah, we'll have to see how this one goes. And the final player I'll be going over here out of all the undrafted listings is Bo Ben-Shuel, a guard out of Wisconsin. He stands 6'5", weighs 317 pounds, had a 40 time of 5.28. He is your prototype downfield guard, so he's pretty good downfield. Strengths, has ability to push defenders around, utilize strength, along with understanding angles and our best traits, makes him an exceptional run mauler, so he's pretty good defending the run. We all know Darryl Bevell's offensive system. He wants to run the ball a lot, so he could be good for that. Does a nice job releasing, getting out in front on screen plays. Capable pull blocker who can get down on the line on pull blocks and take good angles, getting to the second level. He has a high school tight end. He was a tight end in high school. Of course, he beefed up and became an offensive lineman. He was a 4-year starter with 49 career starts under his belt, so he has experience. Bloodlines in Wisconsin run deep. His father and uncle played at the school. His brother, Luke, is currently a tight end on the team of Wisconsin. Hails from a small town of Grafton, Wisconsin, with a population of 11.5 thousand, if that's important to everybody. Weaknesses, of course, needs to work on staying lower more consistently, so a little bit of a consistency issue, but a lot of young players coming to the league have consistency issues, something that can be improved on. Should help improve his pad level. Limited flexibility and stiff hips accounted for some struggle in pass protection when lined up at right tackle. Needs to work on footwork and kick slide in order to become a more complete overall player. Surprisingly enough, he went undrafted. I'm shocked he went undrafted. Like, this is the first player I wanted the Lions to go get in the 3rd round. Originally, he's advertised as a 4th-round pick. Like, I know in Nomis Johnson's mock draft, he wanted the Lions to take him in the 1st round. And that would have been a massive reach to get Ben Shuell in the 1st round. That would have been a massive reach. Like, I wouldn't have taken that early. I would have taken my 3rd or 4th round. But he was able to go undrafted, and hey, we snuck him up, so that's another steal. I could see him being a day 1 starter along with Tyrell Crosby, because we do need a guard to take over TJ Lang's spot. Like, I really think that guard spot's either going to be Ben Shuell or Tyrell Crosby, you know. I think they're going to lean more toward Tyrell Crosby since he has 1 more year experience in the big league than Bo. But, you know, we're just going to have to wait and see. But yeah, those are all the key players that we got in undrafted free agency. I thought I'd go over for you real quick. And before I end this off, I did mention in the draft recap video that Jelani Tavai was arrested at a Honolulu nightclub for a Honolulu club incident. And of course, for this incident, he was with his teammate Kawhi Chung. So for this incident, the police report came out for it, and we're going to go over it. And we're going to truly know for all, was he being an idiot, or was he sticking up for somebody? So what happened was, of course, Tawani and his teammate Kawhi were at the nightclub, of course, having themselves a grand old time at this nightclub. Like any other person that goes to a nightclub would, of course, you want to have a good time at the club. So while he was having a good time, he looks over off in the distance, and he sees a guy beating up a woman. And you know where I stand with that. That's a big no-no. So what does Jelani do? Jelani has a choice. He either ignores it and just continues partying, or he can step in and do something about it. So he went in and chose B. He just stepped in and did something about it. So he left his teammate. He walked up to the guy beating on the woman, and then Jelani would beat the living shit out of the guy. So he was sticking up for the woman, so he has good protective instincts. That's actually pretty interesting. He was sticking up for her. And he was beating up the guy. So yeah, like me, he also knows that beating on women is a big no-no. Of course, despite sticking up for the woman, Jelani was then arrested. Because even though he was sticking up for her, that was still technically classified as assault, and he was charged for it. But of course, he was arrested and he did make bail. But yeah, honestly, in that situation, if you were going to beat him up, you should have let him at least throw the first punch. Because then, after the guy throws the first punch, whatever you do after that can be considered an act of self-defense. Of course, you know, one of the main amendments, one of the main rights you have is the right to self-defense. So yeah, honestly, Jelani, word of advice, if you were going to do that, at least wait for him to throw the first punch and then go at him. So then it can be considered active self-defense, and when you do self-defense, you can't get charged for it. So you save money. Think. But yeah, anyway, there was no report if Jelani got the woman's number or not. Regardless if he did or not, he is still a true and noble gentleman. You know, he's earned my respect, that's for sure. You know, so he'll stick up for teammates if they get in confrontations. So, yeah. But, yeah. Just thought I'd bring that up for you, as in case you're wondering what happened at that nightclub incident. Since I didn't mention that in the recap, I just thought I'd share that to you real quick. But hold up, we ain't finished yet. Because it was mentioned, I saw in a couple Detroit Lions fan chat groups, that everyone's asking why were we outthinking the Patriots and the Eagles. Because it was also reported for Tavai that the Eagles and Patriots were interested in him. And Bob Quinn said that he thought Tavai would not last another 15 picks. Because I think originally the Lions were going to be looking at him in the 3rd round, but then Bob Quinn decided that he was not going to be there, so he outthought Uncle Bill Belichick, and Dougie Peterson, and Howie Roseman. So yeah, that was interesting. So yeah, everyone's been asking, why are we outthinking the Patriots or the Eagles? Patriots aren't even in our conference. Well, you want to know why we outthought the Patriots? To figure this out, for me to explain this to you, we're going to go back in time. We're going to go all the way back to 2018, my Week 3 preview back in September for Lions versus Patriots in the Monday night game. And we're going to let Past Me explain this to you.
Flashback.
You know, the New England Patriots, they've been the bar for 15 years. Like, if you want to be a Super Bowl contender or win the Super Bowl, you always got to go through New England. New England's always been the measuring stick in the NFL. Like, it shows where you really are with the league. Like, New England is like the difference between you being a contender and you being a pretender.
End of flashback.
Thank you, Past Me, for explaining it to everybody. So yeah, like Past Me just explained, New England has been the measuring stick. They've been the bar for 15 years. And obviously, since they're coming off winning their 6th Super Bowl in 18 years, they still remain the bar. And they will remain the bar as long as Tom Brady and Bill Belichick are both still there. Like, look at last year's Patriots squad. It was one of the weakest squads on paper, and it was still a Super Bowl champion. Just to put that in perspective. So yeah, like I said in that preview, you want to be the best, you gotta beat the best. And as Ric Flair used to say, to beat a man, you gotta beat the man. But yeah, that's gonna wrap it up here for this episode of Detroit Lions Free Agency Wars. More than likely, this is gonna be the last episode of Free Agency Wars in the offseason, because a lot of people are bidding adieu to the rest of the offseason. Free agency is complete. Draft is complete. The undrafted rookies have signed to the teams. You know, disappointing we couldn't get, like, Tyree Jackson as he went to the Bills. That's disappointing. We could have really got a good, solid backup quarterback. But, you know, next year's draft class is a quarterback draft class. So, yeah, if we want to get a replacement think of a replacement for Stafford in the future, that 2020 draft is a promising sign for everybody here. But, yeah, of course, more than likely, this is going to be the last episode. So, yeah. That's going to do it for me all at the off-season. Of course, you know, I want to thank everybody, you know, for supporting me and sticking up. Of course, this series wouldn't be possible without all the love and support from you, the viewers. So, yes, I want to say thank yous to each and every one of you. And, of course, shout out to everybody in DVE, the One Pride Riders, and the Outsiders. You know, Predator Kingdom, Hitman, JMO, Manbeast, Luke G, Gridiron Gang, Micro Mike. You know, Nomis Johnson, Mondo Ray Moore, the Detroit Tony, you know, all the Lions fans in the YouTube community. Shout out to all of you. So yeah, that's going to do it for me. If I do any more videos, it will be like if we get a free agent signing, I'll just do it as a quick video. But yeah, I am doing one more Lions video, and then that's going to be it probably till end of July, early August. And that will be my post-draft schedule prediction. Yes, next week I will be doing my second draft prediction. I mean, not my second schedule prediction. So yeah, I said I was originally doing 2 schedule predictions. Well, the post-draft one will be next week, so you got that to look forward to. I am doing preseason reviews, but I'm not doing any preseason previews because I don't really care for the preseason games. I do value them to an extent. Like, I don't really care if we win or lose the preseason games. I just want to know how he played and what our strengths and weaknesses are in those games. But yeah, But quick disclaimer, week 1 preseason game between the Lions and Patriots, there is a pretty good chance that there will not be a review for that game. Because I'm considering going to that game. And if I do go to that game, I will be vlogging, so you've got a vlog to look forward to that would replace the review. Of course, one of the main things I have on this channel are the vlogs. Plenty of them. I got a lot of vlogs planned up for the summer, But yeah, that's all I gotta do here. So yeah, I'll see most of you in July after schedule prediction. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. Hope everyone's a great day. Rest in peace to Detroit Red Wings legend Red Kelly, who passed away at the age of 91 earlier today. Hence why I'm wearing a Red Wings cap. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. Hope everyone has a great day, and peace out, and hail the Outsiders.